Good morning, children. Hope you're all doing fine. So, hope you're all following the video lessons and hope it is really useful to you. So, yesterday we have learned the different organelles like lysosomes. Okay, and now today we are going to see mitochondria. This mitochondria is one of the very important organelle in the cell. Okay, so now first of all we'll try to see or observe the mitochondria on our own in our laboratory. For this, what you need is an onion peel. Onion peel, you remember? Yeah, the same onion peel which you have taken in the 8th class, right? You have peeled the onion and then you have taken a very thin membrane of the onion. And then what we'll do is we'll make a Janus green B solution. How will make this solution? You'll take 200 mg of Janus green B and then you'll take 100 ml of solution, mix it and then prepare a solution. This is a very, very important one mark question which will come in the examinations. What is a solution? What is a chemical which is used to identify or observe mitochondria in the cell? So that is, the answer is Janus green B. So this Janus green B will take 200 mg and 100 ml of water and then we'll mix it both and we'll make a nice solution. So now what we'll do is we'll take this onion peel and you'll put it in the a petri dish or some watch glass and then you'll pour some of the Janus green B solution in that. So after pouring that, maybe you can say you can put it for half an hour. So now here after this, you wash after half an hour, wash the onion peel thoroughly with the water and then you observe under the microscope. So once you observe under the microscope, you will be able to see the cells and all, and also you will be able to see some kind of dot like structures, and these structures are nothing but our mitochondria, or today's topic mitochondria. So now what is the use of mitochondria? Why we are talking about the mitochondria in such a way? So how it is useful to us? That is what we are going to learn now. So when you if you observe the mitochondria, these are the very, very small spherical, oval or cylindrical structured. Okay, even sometimes they are thread-like. So that is their shape. The shape of the mitochondria is spherical or cylindrical in shape. That's the first point. Second point is their size. What is their size? That is 2.2 to 8 microns long and 0.5 microns wide. Microns is the shortest way of measuring the thing. So 2 to 8 microns long and 0.5 microns wide. Okay, now how many mitochondria are present in the cell? That is around 100 to 150 mitochondria you can see in the cell. How many mitochondria you can see in the cell? Around 100 to 150 mitochondria you can see in the cell. So if you use a simple microscope or a compound microscope which is available in our labs and all, when you check the cells and all, you can only see the oval or cylindrical dot like structures. If you do the experiment which we have done now, if you do that, they will look like oval or cylindrical dots. So these cylindrical or oval dots are nothing but the mitochondria. And if you see the cell with the electron microscope, then you'll be able to see the internal structure of the, or how the actual structure of the mitochondria. So that structure tells us a lot about the mitochondria. So this mitochondria is a double layered structure. It is a double membranous structure. Whereas we have seen the lysosome, it is only a single layered structure, but whereas when you see the mitochondria, it is a double layered structure. Okay, the outer part which you are seeing here is the outer membrane, whereas the inner membrane is folded, so into finger like projections. Now this is the inner membrane, okay, folded like structure. So this finger like projections are called as the cristae. This is the outer membrane and this is the cristae. And whereas the empty space in between the finger-like projections is called as matrix. What is the function of mitochondria? We have seen what is the shape of mitochondria, what is the size of mitochondria, how many mitochondria are present in the cell, and if you see with the compound microscope how they will appear, and if you see with the electron microscope, what you can observe is the outer membrane, and then you can see the inner membrane, and the inner membrane protrudes and forms into finger-like projections called as cristae, and also you can see the matrix in that. Matrix is the part which is in between the inner membrane. So these are the four parts which are present in the mitochondria, and now that you will be able to see only when you see the cell with using the electron microscope. And now what is the use of the mitochondria? What is the function of the mitochondria? So the very important function of mitochondria is they will help in the cellular respiration. Now, what is cellular respiration? So we all know that we take air through our nose and that goes into the lungs, okay, and once it goes to the lungs will have the structures which are called as alveoli, and these structures will take the oxygen and gives out the carbon dioxide. This is a process which we know. So already we say that what is respiration? Taking in oxygen and giving out the carbon dioxide. That is called as respiration. But it's a term which we are using here is the cellular respiration. That means there should be some kind of respiration occurring in the cell. So what is the respiration which is taking place in the cell? That is what we are going to see, not in depth, right? We are not going to see it very deeply because next unit is respiration, where you will see the cellular respiration in detail. But now I'll just tell you the gist of this particular topic. So now the oxygen which goes into the oxygen which is going into the lungs will be taken by the blood. So now what is there in the blood? There is oxygen in the blood, and this blood will be carried to the cells. Where the blood is carried now? To the cells. Cells will now take the oxygen. So what is there in the cell? There is oxygen in the cell, and once it comes to the cell, after digestion there will be glucose in our cells. So this oxygen will go and react with the glucose. So glucose will burn in the presence of oxygen, and what does it give out? It gives out carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is given out, but at the same time lot of energy is produced. And this energy will be stored in the form of a molecule which is called as ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. What is that molecule called as? Adenosine triphosphate. Okay, so now because it is generating the energy, we are calling now what happens is this carbon dioxide now will come back to the blood, okay, and again it will come back to the lungs, and lungs will release it outside. This is the process which is actually taking place in the body. Our lungs are taking the oxygen, giving it to the blood, blood is sending into the cells, cells will take the oxygen and burn in the presence of the glucose, it will burn the glucose, or it will react with the glucose, and then carbon dioxide will be produced, plus lot of energy will be produced, and energy will be stored in the form of molecule called as ATP, and the oxygen, the carbon dioxide will come into the blood, and from the blood it will go to the lungs, and from lungs it will be released outside. So this is the whole process which is taking place. So where is the respiration taking place now? It is taking in the lungs, but especially it is taking place in the cell, because cell is taking the oxygen and giving out the carbon dioxide. So that's why we call it as cellular respiration. And mitochondria are also producing the energy. Mitochondria are also producing the energy. That's why we call these mitochondria as powerhouses of the cell. They are called as powerhouses of the cell. Why we are calling it as powerhouse of the cell? because they are generating the energy. They are like giving a lot of power to the cells and also to the body, so that the body can perform several functions, several life processes. So all what an energy is coming out, that is only because of the ATP, that is because of the mitochondria. Adenosine triphosphate is a molecule which stores the energy, and that is responsible for the energy which is coming out, so that we can perform several functions in our body. So on the whole, this is called as the cellular respiration, and this is how mitochondria are helping in the cellular respiration. At the same time, they are also producing the energy, and this, because they are producing energy, they are also called as powerhouses of the cell. Is it clear, children, everybody? Okay, so that is about the mitochondria. Okay, see you tomorrow with a new topic. Until then, take care. Bye.